Hello, friends. I back at home, as you can see. If you know my post, as you can see, this yellow wall is clearly in my house. And I say that because I was at my parents' house yesterday. And fittingly, for being in my folks' place, my post ended up being about family and the kind of just the nature of having children, being the child of someone, the nature of all that. And I think it's continued, today, if anything, that's been still the water I've been swimming in a lot of ways, because we still have a daughter who's not feeling so great, still not sleeping real well. And what it has kind of proposed to me, and I had a conversation with a good friend today, sort of about the types of family dynamics, family patterns that are often at play when a child is sick, right? Like the kind of things that the relationships, how is the child relating to the mother, relating to the father? How are the parents relating to each other? And what is all that energy doing to create a kind of, it's not that it creates an illness, although I think that it absolutely can, but this is just what I've been picking up on over the last year or so, and especially as I've really been kind of diving into really kind of what does every area of life look like if you treat it like a spiritual practice. What does health look like in the context of a really committed spiritual practice? What does exercise look like? What does love look like? What does a relationship look like? What does parenting look like? What does music look like? Blah, 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 blah. And so, in other words, child gets sick, this is part of the practice, this is part of what, it's a chance to evolve. It's a chance to detect a current of energy that is having an effect, and now that's not to dismiss or undermine any sort of scientific explanation for what's going on there. But I actually think these explanations in some ways transcend that science, and they're actually sort of the underlying fabric of the underlying fabric of our consciousness is having an effect on forces which then become scientifically verifiable. And I was just reading something about, I was just reading in a nutrition journal about something very similar to this. So, this may be kind of unconventional thinking, but I'm certainly not inventing it. It's certainly out there. It's certainly happening. And funny enough, my friend that I was speaking to today is a homeopath. Well, homeopathy has been doing this for ages and ages, detecting energetic signatures, whether they are physical or emotional or psychological, and generally, a homeopathic remedy will have attributes in all those different realms. But, in some ways, so in other words, that homeopathy for years has been embracing the idea that that an illness has an energetic signature, and if you match that signature, it dissolves, it cancels, it's like those sound canceling headphones that send out a sound wave that's the opposite of the sound wave coming in, and so as the waves go like this, they just cancel each other out and you get silence. That's what homeopathy is designed to do. It's kind of like the remedy meets and dissolves the symptom or the illness. And so it's a wonderful system. It's a wonderful kind of system for looking at what's happening in a family, what's happening in the energetics of a relationship or of a familial constellation of relationships that can be actually for which there's a reference points. This is the thing. We think our illnesses and we think our problems, even more generally, we think our challenges in life are our own unique problems, when they are anything but that. They are so universal. Everybody has, and not everybody has the same problems, but our problems are a well-worn path. They are not original. They are not unique. They are not special. They just feel that way because now they're ours. They're manifesting in our human soul. And so it's not that we want to dismiss them on account of not being unique. It's actually more, I try to draw a sense of empowerment from that, a sense of, others have gone before me. Maybe there are some maps for this type of issue that I'm having. Homeopathy is an incredibly detailed and very, very, exhaustively developed map of these various things. So I don't know. It's exciting to be going a little deeper in that. And essentially, what came through today in terms of our family is just there's a way in which a child basically, this is kind of what this goes back to the conversation I was having yesterday with my friend who was talking about her kids and just kind of acting like saying, my kids don't, I feel like I'm just a servant to my kids. And I was speaking a little bit yesterday about how that's actually quite appropriate. And in some ways that's part of the spiritual practice of parenting. That's part of what we gain as parents, is the capacity to understand that that's really what we're doing. And it's not that our children are forcing us into that. We are already there. But kids kind of help you recognize it. They help us recognize that we are in service of the world and that we are already, whether we know it or not, giving ourselves in service to the world. And they provoke us to understand that more deeply and to surrender to it, ideally to surrender to it, so that we're not at war with that reality, with that aspect of life. But anyway, what was coming through today is in this way in which, when a child really needs to know that they have your attention, they have your full, you will drop everything for them, you will give them everything. And I've felt this since the very beginning of Annalisa's life. If I am prepared to give her all of myself, if I am prepared to completely, not to withhold anything, if I'm prepared to give myself to her 100% with no resistance to infinitely giving to her, which on some level feels very threatening, and on some level also it feels impossible. It feels like I can't do this. I can't keep this up. I will be destroyed in doing this. And the answer is, well, yes, you will. But the truth is, she just needs to know that's available. She doesn't need you to do that. until you actually expire of giving of yourself so much that you can't maintain your own needs. She just needs to kind of know that your priority is her, that my priority is her. If she knows that, if she knows that I'll give of myself until kingdom come, until I go to pieces, then she can relax and stop demanding that I do that. And that's been my experience from the beginning. I think we're in a bit of a chapter of that right now, where she's hankering, she's grabbing on, she's wanting to, her brain is exploding from all the stimulation and learning she's doing at school, and just the age she's at, and she's just hanging on. She's got this, and it's like being in a vice grip. I mean, it's like she will not let you go. She wants your focus right here. And if it's there, she kind of relaxes and becomes like really chill and easy to hang out with. But any resistance to that, any holding back, any like, well, I have my needs too, is not gonna fly. Not with a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old does not know that you have needs too, and does not care, and does. It is age appropriate to be oblivious to that, and not just, it's not on the radar of a 3-year-old. And so, but for a someone my age, we're capable of feeling that, and then we kind of have to be capable of understanding, oh well, we're not going to get a lot of we're not dealing with a peer just yet. We're dealing with someone who needs to know that I will give everything. And so it's this deep training, this deep spiritual training that I feel like I'm receiving from her. And of course, then in my relationship with Katie, that also plays out in some, because she makes the same demands on Katie, and actually makes even, I would say, far more demands on Katie, because Katie is the mother, and this is Mama is the center of the universe right now. And so how Annalise engages with us, and then how Katie engages with her, I engage with her, and then we engage with each other as the couple, is just all really, we're getting a tune-up. I feel like we're getting like a family tune-up from this experience, because it's, you can't ignore, it's like we can't not evolve. We can't not evolve. It's not gonna work. It's not possible. We have to. The system is being provoked to get to go to a new level of mutual support and mutual love and mutual surrender. And it's a beautiful thing. It's an intense thing, but it's a beautiful thing. And I think more than anything, I'm just feeling grateful for it, and just trying to enjoy the process, even as it's kind of feels like sort of careening all over everywhere. But yeah, it's been family pod mode for several days now, and it's perfect that we're going into Thanksgiving break and we have some time just to kind of sit on the ground and be with each other. So I hope you all get that as well, with whoever your loved ones and dear ones and challenging ones are in your life. But thanks for watching. So much love. I appreciate you so deeply. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.